Hi, happy holidays. I'm Santa. I'm going to read you a little story called On Santa's Team by author unknown. My grandma taught me everything about Christmas. I was just a kid. I remember tearing across town on my bike to visit her on the day my big sister dropped the bomb. There is no Santa Claus. Even dummies know that. Now, my grandma was not the gushy kind, never had been, so I fled to her that day because I knew she would be straight with me. I knew Grandma always told the truth, and I knew that the truth always went down a whole lot easier when swallowed with one of her world-famous cinnamon buns. Grandma was home, and the buns were still warm. Between bites, I told her everything. No Santa Claus. That's ridiculous. Don't believe it, she said. That rumor has been going around for years and years, and it makes me mad. Just plain old mad. Now put on your coat, and let's go. Go where? I asked her. I hadn't even finished my second cinnamon bun. Where turned out to be Kirby's General Store. It was the one store in town that had a little bit of just about everything. As we walked through its doors, Grandma handed me $10 whole. Now back then, that was a lot of money. Take this money, she said, and buy something for someone who needs it. I'll wait for you in the car. Then she turned and walked out of Kirby's. At the time, I was only 8 years old. I'd often gone shopping with my mother, but never had I shopped for anything all by myself. The store seemed big and crowded, full of people scrambling to finish their last-minute Christmas shopping. For a few minutes, I stood there, confused, clutching that $10 bill, wondering what to buy and who on earth to buy it for. I thought of everyone I knew, my family, my friends, my neighbors, the kids at school, the people who went to my church. I was just about thought out when I suddenly thought of Bobby Decker. He was a kid with bad breath and messy hair. He sat right behind me in Miss Pollock's grade 2 class. Now, Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. I knew that because he never went out for recess during the winter. His mother always wrote a note telling the teacher that he had a cough, but all we kids knew that Bobby Decker didn't have a cough, and he didn't have a coat. I fingered the $10 bill with growing excitement. I would buy Bobby Decker a coat. I settled on a red corduroy one that had a hood to it. It looked real warm and he would like that. I didn't see a price tag, but $10 ought to buy anything in that store. I put the coat and my $10 bill on the counter and pushed them towards the lady behind it. She looked at the coat, the money, and me. "Is this a Christmas present for someone?" she asked kindly. "Yes," I replied shyly. "It's for Bobby. He's in my class and he doesn't have a coat." The nice lady smiled at me. I didn't get any change, but she put the coat in a bag and wished me a Merry Christmas. That evening, Grandma helped me wrap the coat up in Christmas paper and ribbons and write, "To Bobby, from Santa Claus" on it. Grandma said that Santa always insisted on secrecy. Then she drove me over to Bobby Decker's house, explaining as we went that I was now and forever officially one of Santa's helpers. Grandma parked down the street from Bobby's house, and she and I crept noiselessly and hid in the bushes by his front walk. Suddenly, Grandma gave me a nudge. "All right, Santa Claus," she whispered. "Get going." I took a deep breath, dashed for his front door, threw the present down on his step, pounded his doorbell twice, and flew back to the safety of the bushes and Grandma. Together we waited breathlessly in the darkness for the front door to open. Finally it did, and there stood Bobby. He looked down, looked around, picked up the present, took it inside, and closed the door. 40 years haven't dimmed the thrill of those moments spent shivering beside my grandma in Bobby Decker's bushes. That night, I realized that those awful rumors about Santa Claus were just what Grandma said they were. Ridiculous. Santa was alive and well, and we were on his team.